chapter free. California meetings on a summer day. So, we're all moving to Whitechapel tomorrow, Mimi said. It's going to be a long trip there, but it will be fun, Chloe said. We should leave early tomorrow morning in order to beat the Vegas' summer heat. Amy said, You're right, flying in that heat will not be good for any of us, Cindy said. Alright, we'll see you guys in the morning. I say we leave at 4 or 5:30, Amy said. See you tomorrow, ladies, Mimi said. See you tomorrow, Mimi, Amy said, and everyone went home. When they got home, Amy called her parents to tell them the good news. So, moving to Whitechapel, are we? Henry asked. Yeah, everyone's on board. We're leaving tomorrow, Amy said. Great. By the way, when you get there, talk to a man named Gus. He'll help set you up with a nice house. He was a real estate agent when Lily and I were looking for houses together. He was the one who found us that old house, Henry explained. Thanks, Dad. I'm sure everything will be fine. Talk to you soon. Love you, Amy said. Love you too, sweetheart, Henry said, hanging up. Wow, we're not even there yet, and Dad's already recommended agents for us, Emily teased. Well, it won't hurt to check them out. Besides, we'll need a house as soon as possible, Amy said. You're right, as usual. Anyway, I'm going to bed. You know I'm not a morning person, so early to bed, early to rise, Emily said. Good night, Emily. I'll give you a wake-up call, Amy said. Yeah, I'm sure you will, Emily said, heading upstairs. The next morning, everyone made sure they had everything for traveling. Mimi made sure she brought more necessities than clothes. Cindy and Chloe checked to see if they forgot anything. Emily tested her new camera and its features. Meanwhile, Amy was mapping out our route for the safest and quickest way to Whitechapel. I think we'll need to go for Montana to get there, Amy said. Are you kidding me? It's freezing out there, Emily said. I know, but it's the quickest route. I want to get there in 2 or 3 days, not weeks, Amy said. You're right. I want to get there quickly too, but I think freezing to death should be our biggest concern, Emily said. Relax, Emily. We'll be fine. Plus, we still have a week of summer vacation left. We'll get there with plenty of time to spare. Hey, how's the camera working? Amy asked. It works better than my old one. Plus, I heard that this camera can pick up supernatural entities, Emily said. Didn't the store clerk say that light is broken? Amy asked. Just because the signal is broken doesn't mean the feature is broken. Come on, Amy, even you know that, Emily teased. Okay, you're right. Come on, it should be 5 o'clock in Dakota's universe. We need to get the others and hit the road, Amy said. Yee-haw! Let's go, Amy, Emily said, getting more excited by the minute. Everyone met up at the square to wait for each other. Cindy, Chloe, and Lizzie were already there by the time Emily and Amy showed up. So, who's missing? Amy asked. Just as Amanda and Mimi, Cindy said. Oh, there's his Amanda, Lizzie said. Sorry I'm late. The bag I packed had a hole in it, and everything fell out. I had to repack everything in a different bag. So, is everyone here? She asked. We're just waiting for Mimi, Amy said. Oh, I just ran past her. She's walking here with Dementio, Amanda said. With Dementio? Everyone asked. Are you sure you don't want to come, Dementio? I'm sure Amy can make some room for you, Amy said. I'm sure. I have a magic shop to look after, but I have to see Dakota before she flies off like a dandelion in the summer wind as I cry one tiny tear of sorrow, Dementio said. Do you have to make metaphors for everything? Mimi asked. Why, yes. Yes, I do, he replied. Hey, girl, Amy said. There you are. Dementio, are you coming with? Chloe asked. No, I'm here to say goodbye to Dakota, Dementio said. Well, that makes sense. Come on, everyone, it's time to go, Amy said, and they headed to the portal that leads to my room. When the game went in, they saw that I was still asleep. Dakota, wake up. It's almost time to go, Amy said, shaking me. She won't wake up, she said. I got this, Emily said. Emily, whatever you do, don't! Amy said, but Emily did. She got an air horn out of her backpack and used it to wake me up. And it worked too well because I jumped out of my skin. Ow! Emily, what the heck? I was having a great dream, I said, nursing my head after hitting the ceiling. Also, you're going to wake up my parents and my little sister, I said. Sorry, girl, but you need to wake up, Emily said. What for? I said, lying back down. Because if we want to not fly in the summer heat, we need to go now, Emily said. Wait, that's right, we're moving to Whitechapel, I remembered. I need to get breakfast and... Oh, hi, Dimencio, are you coming too? I asked. No, I'm here to say goodbye. You know I have a magic shop to run, he said. That's right. Thanks for coming. Now, can you guys help me with breakfast? I asked. Of course we can, they said. After having breakfast and some last-minute preparation, we were finally ready to leave. I said goodbye to my family in Dimencio, and we got on our warp stars and we left. Goodbye, everyone. See you at the end of the semester, I said. Bye, Dakota. Have fun, and hopefully you won't have any disasters to sort out, Dimencio called out. Bye, Dimencio. Take care, Mimi called out. So, how long will it take to get there? I asked. If we keep flying at this speed, we'll make it to Montana before noon, Amy said. Can we stop there for a bit? I heard there are some perfect winter fashion shops there, Mimi said. We'll stop there for lunch. And yes, we can stay for a while, but we should leave before sundown, Amy said. That sounds like a plan, Amy, we said. Well, by noon, we made it somewhere, but it wasn't Montana. The hot summer sun was on our backs, and the smell of the fresh ocean breeze was in our noses. This doesn't look like Montana. Amy, are you sure we're going the right direction? Lizzie asked. I don't know. Emily, you have the map, Amy replied. We should be going the right way. See, I told you we should have taken a right at that last cactus, Emily said. What cactus? We passed by 27 on the way here. Give me that map, Amy said, taking it from her. No wonder we're lost. We've been holding the map upside down. Here we are. We're somewhere in California, Amy said. California? That's miles away from Canada, I said. I told you you should have given me the map, Amy said. Your map reading skills are as bad as mine, Emily said. At least I know when I'm reading it upside down, Amy argued. Guys, let's not argue. It's just an unexpected detour. Let's land and see where we are. And get something to eat, Chloe said when her stomach started rumbling. We landed the warp stars and started to walk around, looking for some place to eat and get directions. We were about to cross the street when... Hey! You guys new around here? I've never seen you before, a girl's voice said. Mabel, you know what Mom and Dad said about talking to strangers? A boy said. Don't worry, we're friendly, I said, turning around to face them. They were two kids around the age of 12. The girl had long brown hair with two strands sticking up on the top of her head. She was wearing a headband, a pink sweater with a shooting star on it, and a purple skirt. The boy also has brown hair, but it was more unkempt. He was wearing an old hat with a star on it, an orange shirt, a blue vest, shorts, and sneakers. You don't have to be afraid. We're just passing through, Amy said. You kids live around here? Emily asked. Yeah, our house is over there, the girl said, pointing to a small white house. My name is Mabel, and this is my twin brother Mason. But you can call him Dipper if you like, Mabel said. Why do they call you that? Emily asked. It's because he has a way with the ladies. Yeah, that's it, Dipper said, putting his hand over his sister's mouth. I can dip them like no other man can, he said, taking his sister by the hand, trying to dip her, but she slipped and fell onto the sidewalk. That is not why they call you that, Mabel said, nursing her head. Sorry, sis, Dipper said. It's okay, Dipper, we don't need to know, Emily said. You don't? They asked. Yeah, it's obviously personal to you, so we don't need to know, Emily explained. Wow, you girls are really understanding, Dipper said. It's how we roll. My name is Dakota, and these are my friends, Emily, Edie, Cindy, Chloe, Ismanda, Lizzie, and Mimi, I said. Nice to meet you, everyone said. Nice to meet you too, Mabel said. So what brings you here to Piedmont? Dipper asked. Oh, so that's where we are? Well, we're moving and we came here by accident. We got a little turned around, so I guess we're staying here for a while, Amy explained. You two wouldn't know where we can get some good food, would you? Chloe asked. Of course we do. There's a nice fast food place just around the corner, Mabel said. We were about to go there with our parents. Why don't we go together? Dipper suggested. Sounds great. What do you say, girls? I asked. Sounds good to me, Emily said. Yeah, I love making new friends, Chloe said. Well, it settled. Lead the way, you two, Amy said, and we started walking to the place Mabel told us about. While we were walking, we started to get to know each other better. So, how old are you kids? Emily asked. Just turned 12, Mabel said. Our birthday was a few days ago, Dipper said. I hope you had a good birthday, I said. Thanks, but I didn't get what I truly wanted, Mabel said. What did you want? I asked. Have any of you heard of Dusk? She asked. Dusk? That Twilight ripoff? Emily asked. We do not speak of Twilight in this vampire fandom, Mabel explained. Wow, didn't know you were such a fangirl, Emily said. My sister is a huge vampire fan, Dipper said, putting his arm around her. I've been a vampire fan since 3rd grade, and Twilight nearly ruined vampires for me. I read the first book and hated it. Then my friend let me borrow the second one. It was so bad, I couldn't get past the first chapter, Emily asked. Paragraph, Mabel said. Wow, you know a book is bad when you can't get past the first paragraph, Amy said. Then another friend introduced me to Dusk, and my love of vampires was rekindled. I read all 5 books that were released at the time, and then the movies came out, and there's been advanced screenings for all 3 movies. And I haven't been to any of them, Mabel explained. Really? Why not? Isman asked. Because every time I had a chance to go, something always happened, Mabel explained. The first time, my whole school was supposed to go, but there weren't enough volunteers. The second time, I was supposed to go with a friend. Then her mom got sick, and both of us missed out. And here we are again. The 3rd movie's coming out, and I have to miss it again, she explained. What happened this time? I asked. Mom and Dad were going to take me as a birthday present, but the car broke down and we don't have enough money left to go. If you don't mind me asking, where is this screening? Emily asked. Is it a small town in Canada? It's called Whitechapel, Mabel said. No way! That's where we're going, I said. Really? Dipper and Mabel asked. Yeah, me and Emily's parents used to live there, Amy said. That's really cool, Dipper said. Yeah, I hope you have a safe trip, Mabel said. What about you, Mabel? I asked. I'll be okay. After all, it is just a movie. Next month, I'll be able to watch Dusk Free in my hometown, Mabel said. Now come on, we need to eat. So let's eat, Mabel said. The twins led us to a burger shack. Dipper and Mabel ate with their parents while the rest of us sat at another table. You know, I feel bad for Mabel. She's been wanting to go to these screenings for years, and she has to miss another one, I said. Yeah, I feel kind of bad for her too, Amy said. I wish there was something we could do, I said. It's not like we can bring Mabel and her family to and from Canada in 2 weeks. What would they do in that time? Emily asked. Plus, it would mess up our school schedules, Amy said. We might not be able to bring Mabel and her entire family, but maybe we could bring Mabel, I said. What? Everyone said. Are you crazy? Emily asked. She'll be exposed to our magic, Amy said. Come on, it will only be for 2 weeks. How bad could it be? I asked. Obviously you don't know my sister, Dipper butted in. Sorry, we couldn't help it over here. But are you really taking me to Whitechapel? Mabel asked. We weren't counting on it. We have a special way of getting around, Amy said. You mean you're shooting stars? Mabel asked. How did she know about those? I mean, we don't have shooting stars, Emily said. Yeah, you do. We saw you fly over our house. It's one of the reasons I came to say hi, Mabel explained. So Dipper and I have been talking, and we concluded that you girls are not normal, Mabel said. We didn't want to say anything earlier, but I'm pretty sure normal girls don't look like those enemies from that game about hearts, Dipper pointed out. You mean Kingdom Hearts? Cindy asked. That's the one. I have a friend who plays that game, he said. Okay, you got us. We're not normal girls. We're angels that was cursed to look like this, Amy said. Dakota is our host. We've been protecting her since the day she was born, Emily said. And I'm from a different universe, Mimi explained. I knew you looked familiar. You made me and Mabel grind for hours to get rubies for you to pay off that stupid vase, Dipper said, frustrated. Oh yeah, I did do that, didn't I? Mimi said. You do know that there was a safe filled with rubies, right? Emily asked. Oh yeah, we did, Dipper said. We opened that safe out of spite, Mabel said. I kind of deserve that. Don't worry, I'm a good girl now, Amy said. So, can you still take me to Whitechapel? Mabel asked. Come on, Mabel, they could be trying to kidnap you, Dipper said. Really, Dipper? I thought we agreed they were friendly. And what kind of kidnappers fly on shooting stars? Mabel asked. Well, I know someone who flies in a clown car and kidnaps princesses, Dipper explained. Okay, fair point, she said. Plus, our parents will never let you go with people we just met, he said. Mabel, if your parents are okay with you going, I guess we can bring you along, Amy said. Really? Mabel asked excitedly. We can let you stay for a few weeks, and when the screening is over, we can take you home. What day is the screening? Emily asked. It's on a Friday, Mabel said. Alright, we can bring you back on Saturday, Amy said. Did you hear that, Mom and Dad? Mabel asked. We sure did, and since they said yes, you can go with them, Mr. Pine said. Wait, you're okay with your daughter going with people you just met? Kind of irresponsible, Emily said. Well, you did say you were angels, right? Mrs. Pine said. Yes, they said. And an angel's job is to do good deeds, right? Mr. Pine asked. Correct, they replied. So just this once, we trust you to take care of our daughter and son. That is, if you want to go, Mason, Mr. Pine said. No thanks. I don't do these vampire movies, Dipper said. You and me both, pal, Emily said. So I can go? When are we leaving? Mabel asked. We were going to stay until sundown. How about you get your stuff packed and then you and your brother can take a sightseeing? After that, we'll have dinner and hit the road, Amy said. Woohoo! Whitechapel and super hot vampires, here I come! Mabel said, taking her brother by the hand and heading home. I have a feeling we're going to be great friends with her, I said. We helped Mabel pack, and in return, she and Dipper took us to some of the most popular tourist attractions. We went shopping, had some snacks, took some photos, and watched the California sun setting while eating a home-cooked meal that Dipper and Mabel's parents cooked for us. We should be leaving soon, if we want to get to Whitechapel by tomorrow, Amy said. Hey, Dipper, are you sure you don't want to come? I asked. I'm sure. I'm staying here, because someone has to rescue my sister if you are kidnappers. Plus, I don't like vampire movies that much. Dad was going to take me to a museum while Mom took Mabel to the film, he explained. We understand. Don't worry, we'll take care of her, I said. I know you will, because if you wanted to hurt us, you would have done it by now. Just make sure to call in right every day, Dipper said. I'm going to call in right twice a day, Mabel said. We finished eating, and it was time to leave. Thanks for letting Mabel come with us. We'll take care of her. I promise, I said, putting my arm around her. We know you will. Bring us back some souvenirs, honey, Mrs. Pine said. I will, Mom. You can count on it, Mabel said. Goodbye, everyone. See you in 2 weeks, we said, and we took off. As we flew into a now almost black sky, Mabel was looking back to the home she was leaving. You know, this is the first time me and my brother have ever been apart, Mabel explained. Getting homesick already? We're not that far. We can take you back home, Amy said. No way! I've waited forever to see this. I'm not going to let fear ruin it now. After all, I can watch Dusk on my phone to calm my nerves. Can I watch too? I've never seen Dusk before, Amy said. Of course you can! Dakota, bring me closer, Mabel said. Mabel and Mimi started watching the first movie, and Mimi instantly fell in love. Oh my gosh, those actors are so hot! How did I not watch this sooner? Mimi gushed. I know, right? And unlike Twilight, the actors know how to act, Mabel replied. I am so going to the screening, Mimi said. Ugh, woman. What am I saying? I am one, Emily exclaimed, making us all laugh. As we were flying off into the night, I looked over at Mabel, who was now falling asleep on Mimi's warp star. It was that moment I realized that I not only made a new friend, I started a friendship that would last us a lifetime.